Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. Pile 1, what's going on you guys? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. We are tapping in and channeling through who you are to your person. Where do you stand with them? And what is it they're wanting with you in this connection? Okay, so just giving you guys the tea, giving you guys the insight, all right? Just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general collective reading, so, you know, whatever resonates, do whatever you want with it. If something that isn't quite landing, just drop that information or that message and leave it behind for whomever, you know, it's resonating for, all right? I do have personal readings available, including this exact reading, all right? I have this exact reading available as a personal reading if you would like to book one where I'm tapping exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details can be found in the description box below. There are a lot of readings available in the specific person category, and there's a lot of them that are only $25. So go see which ones match your needs, all right? So pile 1, you guys were drawn to the Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz. Let's see who you are to your person. We have Into the Unknown. I just heard, I'm not ready. Okay, Into the Unknown in the reverse, and right away I had this, like, your person, like who you are to them, feels like a tall order for your person. You might be calling them to step into like maybe a higher version of themselves or something like that. We'll see what else is going on here, but I just heard them say, I'm not ready. Okay, but it's, you know, context is everything. It's that kind of it's an energy, it's the same kind of an energy that I associate with, like, say if you're getting ready to go on, like, you know, a roller coaster, or, you know, it's that kind of an energy. It's like, it is something that you're kind of wanting to do, but it's like right when you get to the top of that hill, and right, you have that, you're about to go down that hill, or you're about to dive, or you're about to do, you're like, you know, just inches away from doing the really hard thing, getting ready to jump, and there's that fear that kicks in that's like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like, you know, moments leading up to that point, you're like super hyped up, and this is your person's energy, okay? You know, so, you know, they're super hyped up, you know, super excited, looking forward to it, and then the moment comes to actually jump, and I feel that's where they're getting paralyzed. They're like, oh shit, I'm not ready, right? Let's see, so we also have the High Priestess showing up in the reverse, we have Death showing up in the reverse, and then we also have the Six of Pentacles for who you are to your person. So we got Pisces energy, Scorpio energy. Yeah, okay, so into the unknown in the upright position, that even in the reverse, it carries the energy of the Fool in tarot, right? And in the reverse, it talks about, you know, there's kind of a skittish energy that your person is in when it comes to you at this point in time. The desire to want to face their fears is there, to want to take that jump, to want to dive in. And there's also, as much as they are excited for the thrill of that, whatever that may be, there's also an equal fear that's like holding them back from jumping, but they want to jump, okay? And in the context, it feels like they're wanting to make some kind of a move towards you and towards this connection, and I feel like your energy is kind of calling them forward, like, come on, you can do this, you know? You can do this, and they're wanting to, and at the same time, they're afraid. So there could be some kind of a pattern interrupt that your person is needing to put an end to. You know, there's some kind of a death or a transformation your person is headed into, and they're completely resisting it. If any of this, like, you know, if the Into the Unknown was in the upright position, if you know, if Death and the High Priestess were in their upright position, it would feel like, okay, you know, I've made peace with it, I'm ready to jump. Yeah, there might be some fear there, and you know, it's still full steam ahead, right? Your person's not there yet. There's very much resistance to whatever change they're being called forth through, but it feels very, very, it's something that their higher self is calling them. I feel like your energy and their higher self is calling them into this major, it feels like a milestone, like a major next step that they're needing to take. I heard for some of them, it involves like growing up, maybe evolving as a person or as an energy. And there's a lot of activity going on in your person's energy regarding that next step, that leap forward. The desire for that is there, but very afraid. Let's see, let me pull and see what their overall thoughts and feelings are towards you at this time before I speak on that Six of Pentacles. They want to be ready, okay? They want to reciprocate for who you are to them. They want to match your energy. I feel like there's just a huge leap that they're needing to make, that we're having to make. That transformation, whatever it is, it's scaring the shit out of your person. I just keep hearing them saying, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. One more shuffle. Pile one's person. Their honest thoughts and feelings towards pile one in the connection at this time. Pile one's person. Shutting down. Yeah. They're not ready. And I do feel like this is a leap that they're needing to make. I feel like it's part of their path here. It's part of their journey. It's part of their evolving, right? But fear is holding them back. Not only is fear holding them back, it's actually shutting them down, okay? Your person is not facing their fear when it comes to you and to this connection. Let me get a couple more. Pile one's person, honest, true thoughts and feelings towards pile one. Okay, yeah, your person is wanting to make you in this connection with you a top priority. That's what they want to do. But there is some kind of a transformation. There is some kind of a milestone. There's some kind of a leveling up, though, that is required. Your person knows that. There could be some like death to bad habits they're needing to put a stop to or something, okay, that they are very much resisting, but it's coming from, it's mainly coming from a space of fear. Pile 1's person, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards Pile 1 in the connection. Oh, they do trust you though, and that is coming up underneath the Six of Pentacles. You see, they're not scared of you. They're scared of who. There's a gap between who they are now and who they perceive they need to be. And I feel like that's true. There's a gap between who they are now and who they need to be in order to have you know, a solid foundational connection and relationship with you, okay? And there's something about that gap. It's unknown. Your person could be very stubborn and resistant to change. I'm hearing for some of you, your person could be stuck in old ways, but they're not wanting to be stuck. They actually do want to evolve. They actually do want to make that leap forward. They actually want to, but there's very, very heavy internal resistance happening, okay? They're being shut down from taking that next leap. I mean, they're literally, it's like, you know, their nervous system is just pumping out all kinds of adrenaline and stress and stuff like that in connection to whatever this next move is going to be. It's very much calling your person, Pile 1, outside of their comfort zone. What I'm hearing with I trust you, they trust you, Pile 1. They don't trust themselves. They're having a very hard time trusting themselves, and it is because we do have the High Priestess in reverse here. There's two messages coming through with the High Priestess in reverse for who you are to your person. Number one, because they are shut down or shut off from their own internal higher self, which is their guidance system, right? They're not seeing things clearly. They're being hypnotized by fear. They're entertaining too many, like, what if things go wrong scenarios, right? What if I jump and the parachute fails, right? Or, you know, what if I, you know, dive and I forget how to swim or whatever, right? They also might see you as somebody who is very intuitively tapped in, and they're resisting that as well. Because for a High Priestess energy, you can't hide anything from a High Priestess. You really can't, okay? High Priestess reads energy. So, you know, a High Priestess energy, someone who's fully tapped into their internal guidance system, to their higher self, to the divine. It doesn't matter how many masks you wear or how high, you know, that guard might be or that wall might be. You know, a High Priestess can, it's like an x-ray. It's like x-ray vision. You know, you're able to see everything. You can see the mask, you can see the pain under that's holding up that mask, and then you can see the person at their core, right? Very resistant to both, you know, either or even both scenarios. Tell me about making you a top priority. Making you a top priority, coming out right underneath death in the reverse, that is like a desire that your person has, but again, there's fear that your person is being hypnotized by. They're completely entranced by it, okay? Whatever fears are being entertained by them, they cannot see past that. And it is because they are shut off to, you know, the guidance of their higher self. And it is because that fear is so active, okay? Their shadow, inner demons, whatever. Tell me about making you a top priority. Oh, they know that you deserve it, definitely, with the Queen of Wands here. So there's definitely some kind of an inner struggle that your person is dealing with right now when it comes to you in this connection, Pile 1. They feel the call they feel the pull, and they're feeling magnetized towards you into this connection, but they also have like this humongous weight that's like tethered to their back, that's like holding them, and they're trying as hard as they can to move past that. But that fear is strong, pile one. That fear is strong. You're strong. Your energy calling them forth is very strong as well. But until your person is able to like heal whatever is fueling that fear, I just heard fear of abandonment. Whatever's fueling that fear, until they like release that, they're not, you know, they're gonna have a very difficult time making that jump, even though they really want to make it. Tell me about I trust you. Actually, tell me about the Six of Pentacles here. There's a king. Yeah, there's a King of Wands in the upright position. They want to match your, they want to. Let's see, King of Wands, that's the energy they want to be in, you know. They want to do what they say and say what they mean, and they want to feel internally aligned to the action they know that they want to take, and that the action that they know that needs to be taken, right? Because they do want to be reciprocal. They do want equal give and take in this connection. They do see, you know, that you're deserving of that, and the connection itself will warrant that, right? They're trying to find their way back home though, okay? Your person is feeling out in the cold right now, just overall. They're feeling very lost, just in general. Very lost as an energy, very lost as a soul. You know, you're acting as kind of like a light of beacon in the dark, right? That beacon of light in the dark. But they can't, they're having a difficult time. It's like they got all these fears and these demons talking in their ears. You know, this is metaphorically speaking. And they're having a hard time waking up and snapping out of it, okay? There's this thing about your person needing to snap out of it, and they're having a very difficult time snapping out of it. Okay, tell me about I trust you. Oh, Queen of Wands, yeah. Oh, wow, your energy is very strong, pile one. Your energy is very strong, and your energy is calling them forward, calling them to make that leap. And, oh, they want to so bad, pile one. And they're having a hard time breaking free from their own mental and emotional traps, okay? Tell me about you stress me the F out at the bottom of the deck. I just heard them say you're not the problem. They do trust you. You're not the problem. You're not the reason why they're having such a hard time moving forward or jumping in. Or what's the fear then? It's not, what's the fear? Possibly a loss of hope. I do like that we do have the star coming out in the upright position. Again, that just feels like, it's almost like your person saying like, don't worry about what the fear is, just keep shining that light. And that's like their message to you, pile one. Yes, they're dealing with fears, very much so. And they're asking you not to worry about whatever it is they might be like dealing with that might be, you know, pulling them backwards. They just want you to keep shining your light so bright, because even though they do get lost sometimes in that hypnotic trance, and, you know, they're in a space sometimes where they're believing some of those, you know, fearful voices and stuff. It's something about, I don't know, this feels so faded. They're also saying don't lose hope. Yeah, They don't want you to focus on whatever their fears might be, or even maybe what your fears might be. Just shine. They're telling you to keep shining your light, because it's that light that's pulling them towards you. Don't let your light dim or your faith dim because they're having a difficult time with theirs, okay? They got a lot of things they're needing to break free from. They are having a difficult time of it. And they're still trying to keep their eyes on, like, the quote-unquote the prize, which is like you in this connection, okay? They do say sometimes they do, like sometimes their hope will dim or their faith will dim, but it's your light that, like, keeps them moving forward, all right? Tell me about you stress me the F out at the bottom of the deck. The Page of Cups. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, there's such a gap between who they are now and who they know they need to be in order to move in this connection with you forward, right? Page of Cups to the King of Wands. That's a huge gap. That's not even the same element. And a Page of Cups is very sweet, very affectionate, very romantic, maybe a little bit naive, It could also stress them out because they see you as somebody that's really sweet and nurturing and innocent and pure, and they're dealing with some of these. And, I just picked up on attachments. They got some attachments, all right? So there could be, attachments to maybe past connections, attachments to some very toxic, self-limiting beliefs, some toxic bad habits, maybe even some addiction issues. There's just something. There's something about your person's inner making, their patterning, that's very toxic and self-limiting and self-sabotaging, that they're needing to break away from. And some of those things, your person might be seeing themselves compared to you as, like, they could see themselves as very toxic, and then looking at you like you're very pure, right? And that stresses them out because they don't want to do you dirty, but it almost feels like they could be bonded, or in bondage, I should say, to something that could and possibly already has hurt you. And so it's not necessarily like you're not really doing anything to stress your person out directly. They're stressed out by who you are just energetically. They're stressed out at the fact that you're so pure, you're so innocent in a good way, not childish and not immature. It's carrying that energy of you being somebody they would never want to hurt. They very much care about you, pile one. Let's find out where you stand with them currently. Where does pile 2 currently stand with, or pile 1? Where does pile 1 currently stand with their addiction? Wow. We have these two come out together, and it feels like they belong because we have karmic relationship and addiction. So, for some of you, there is addiction here, okay? If it's not substance abuse, it could just be an addiction to negative thinking, an addiction to self-limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs. With karmic relationship, for where you stand with your person, this says fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go and loving you. Addiction says codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block and a restraint. Let's get a couple more out. Where does pile 1 currently stand with their person? Oh, they are very quiet. Where does pile 1 currently stand with their person? We got healing heart. Okay, that's good. I like that it says healing from heartbreak and freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. I feel for many of you, that's that leap forward. There's some kind of an attachment that your person is dealing with that they're needing to release themselves from, and for some reason they're having a very difficult time doing that. Again, it could be an addiction to substance, okay? Substance abuse, alcohol abuse. Let's get one more. But they are coming through and saying, because I do like that we have healing heart actually coming out on the board, because yes, we have this issue. It's a standing issue that is keeping your person from making that leap, right? And with healing heart coming directly right after it, it's like your person could very well be like, they're seeing you as someone that they would go through the process of releasing that attachment for. They, you know, and you could be the only one that they could have ever wanted to do that with. And your person, you know, that addiction, there could be a third party, you know, thing going on here. Your person could be dealing with some kind of a karmic that has been very difficult for your person to let go of. All right. If it's, you know, if it's not a third party where it's an actual like person, then the, you know, that third party energy again could be an actual addiction to substances. Okay. Or some kind of an addiction. One more. Who is pile 1, or where does pile 1 currently stand with their person? Not enough. Yeah. The healing journey is your person's. It's all theirs, you know. Yeah, they can have you as like that beacon of light and shining, but they got to do the work themselves. They may have been hoping that their love for you or that your energy was just so strong that it would be able to just break, you know, whatever that addiction or that attachment is. But that's just not the way addictions and attachments work. Okay. Not enough says frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage. There it is, self-sabotage, fear/ego issues, and jealousy. Oh, wow, look at you guys. Back of the deck is twin flames. It says yin, yang, zen, balance, union. Yeah, this, see, that's why. Regardless or not, you know, whether you believe in a twin flame dynamic or not, regardless of whether or not this actually is a twin flame dynamic, twin flames at the bottom of the deck, that's two people who, you know, feel like very drawn to each other like magnets, okay? And so you could also be acting as a mirror to your person, and it could also be that your light sometimes could shine too bright, that it could blind your person's eyes. But it's neither here nor there. Don't ever dim your light, pile 1, okay? Don't ever do that. It also says complement each other, duality and coupling. There is a desire that your person has. They want to couple up with you, okay? They do desire union with you. And your person is dealing with a very gnarly attachment, whether that attachment is to an actual person, whether it is addiction. I will say that attachment is addiction. Now, who and or what that addiction might be, you know, what it might be is neither here nor there. It's just something that's needing to be, you know, that your person is having a difficult time releasing themselves from, but they do want to be released from it, okay? Tell me about, let's see, karmic relationship and addiction. Tell me more about that. For some of you, it is a third part. Okay, I'm not going to say that. Okay, so For some of you, it's a third party. For some of you, it's just partying in general, okay? For some of you, it could just be drinking, just... But I mean, the Three of Cups is quintessential for third parties, okay? And I mean, your person could be addicted to third parties just in general. And if that's the case, the only reason why that is because... especially with fear/ego issues, your person is needing validation, okay? They're needing attention from multiple third parties to fill some kind of a void within themselves. That is more than likely, I think I did say something about an abandonment wound, didn't I? Tell me about healing heart. Healing heart says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. Tell me more about healing heart for where pile 1 stands with their person. Oh, that's good. Okay. Two of Swords in the reverse. They are receiving, or they're open, I should say. They're open to receiving help in that area, whatever this addiction or this attachment is. Okay, they are open to healing from it, to detaching from it. They do want freedom from the addiction and or the attachment so that they can move forward unhindered, towards you and your guys' connection. Anything to add for not enough? Yeah, your person is saying they got a lot more work to do. Wow, we got the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Wands. They got a lot of work still left to do. And sometimes your person feels like it's too much. It's overwhelming. They're looking at the gap between who they are now and who they feel they need to be. And that could be also one of the negative voices that they're having a difficult time not listening to is, how much and how long and the work involved in the process and all that stuff. It's like your person is psyching themselves out. It's not that you're not enough. You're everything with the Queen of Wands energy coming to that. And again, there's something about that, your Queen of Wands energy, that has your person stressing out because they want it, right? They want it. They want that. They want your energy. They want your presence. They want, your involvement in their life. And it's like the journey to them seems too long, too arduous, too whatever, too complicated. Your person is feeling very frustrated in that regard, but it's not because of anything you are or are not doing. It feels like it's more self-sourced. They're frustrated at themselves because they're not who they need to be and who they want to be. They want to be the King of Wands to your Queen of Wands. They really do. And, they're just not. They have a lot of work still left to do. Let's look at what they want. What do you want with pile 1 in this connection? They don't want you to go anywhere, okay? This could also be your person still digging their heels in and refusing to jump, okay? I'm not picking up that your person is refusing to change. That's not necessarily it. But again, there's some kind of a leap towards, change that your person is needing to make that they're being it's very difficult for them to make, okay? It's that kind of a fear where you're so scared, you're paralyzed, you're frozen. Give me a couple more. What does pile 1's person want with pile 1 and their connection with pile 1? I just heard, because we got vacation and we got spell work, your person, and the fact that we have all of this coming out underneath, I trust you, and the Six of Pentacles, your person, I'm hearing them say, pile 1, they want you to work your magic on them. specifically whatever this addiction is, whatever this attachment is. It's like they see you with the magic wand waving it. They're like, pile one, just wave that magic wand and just cut whatever this is. Like I'm seeing your person with some kind of like a line or something hooked up to their back, and they're towing like tons and tons and tons of, you know, just baggage behind them. And they're wanting you to work your magic and like cut them loose from those, from whatever that is. We also have vacation. They want to get away with you. I just heard them say they want to leave it all behind. Vacation says adventure, getaway, travel, break, time off. Yeah, but this feels more, especially since it's coming out with making you a top priority. It's like they want to escape with you. They want to get away from it all with you. Spell work says casting love spells, manipulating outcome, and attracting love interest. Back of the deck says closed heart. This is unavailable, avoiding intimacy and emotional burdens. Yeah, let me see what's going on with that energy real quick. Back of the deck. Okay. They're still having a hard time with that closed heart energy. That is still active, and it's kind of like running the program in the background. Unavailable, avoiding intimacy and emotional burdens. I just heard your person say something along the lines of they know they want to open their heart up to you, but they're afraid of what's going to come spilling out. Very much so. It says fear, ego issues. I'm also feeling like your person has a problem. Well, it says avoiding intimacy. Like they have a fear of intimacy, a fear of opening up, a fear of being seen. That might be too why we have the High Priestess showing up in the reverse and shutting down. This could be your person trying to block you from being able to intuit, you know, what's going on. Or that could be their desire to want to hide from you. Specifically like inner demons, something that they're struggling with, especially if it is like maybe addiction to substances or addiction to third parties, or just, you know, maybe your person has a hard time, you know, being faithful and loyal. And if that's the truth, if that's what's going on, it's all being fueled by, you know, some kind of wounding, okay? But they're still walking around with a very closed off heart. Not necessarily because they want to, it's just that could be still an automatic thing. But again, we have healing heart actually coming out. Is pile one's person actually, is their heart actually healing? I'm hearing that you've actually helped to some degree. You've helped maybe start the process of their heart healing. I'm also hearing you restored faith and optimism to them, maybe in when it comes to like love and romance. And oh, they're saying just like you restored, your person may have had trust issues when it comes to people, especially if there's somebody that ran around in circles with other people who may have had same, you know, the same addictive issues or attachment issues. It's like you came in like this gorgeous, magnificent beacon of light, and it's like you're restored, almost like your person's faith in humanity, or just, you know, that there's still good left in people. So just your presence has actually started to help your person heal from the inside out, but at some point your person is needing to take up that gauntlet and do the rest of the work themselves, right? Yeah, and look what just came out with the Queen of Wands. Come on now. That's the truth, pile one. Just your presence in your person's life. And I can see that with twin flames showing up here. Just your presence in their life has already started started healing their heart from the inside out. But again, there's still a lot of work that's needing to be done with that. Tell me about not budging. Oh, yeah. See, your person is really, really scared. There's a decision. Your person knows there's either a decision, but I feel like the decision's already been made. All that needs to be done now is your person actually needs to start taking the first steps, and they are so scared. We got the Two of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Your person could be afraid, very afraid of being stabbed in the back, okay? And if they're not afraid of being stabbed in the back by you, which I don't think they do because it says they trust you, right? This could be just kind of like an unconscious fear that they have. If your person's been running around in circles with other people with similar addiction and or attachment issues, then that's just been, you know, kind of like it's par for the course for your person to feel like they're being betrayed or let down or disappointed. You know, because people that, you know, they're surrounding themselves with people who are just constantly in survival mode, right? All, you know, everyone out for themselves kind of a thing, out for number one. That's why they're having a difficult time taking the first steps and taking that leap of faith, because their fear is telling them it's going to end in disaster. Either they're going to get hurt or they're going to hurt you. And they don't, that's why they're paralyzed. Your person right now isn't able to see where, at least in the energy they're in now, right? Because they're only looking through the eyes of someone who hasn't yet been completely liberated from whatever their addiction and or attachment issue is, okay? They can't see past who they are now. So they're like, they cannot see any path that's not going to end with one of you getting hurt, or both of you even. That's their problem. And so for what they're wanting with you in this connection, they're wanting to stay put. Until they're able to see a path opening, and the path is there, they're just so hypnotized they can't see it. It's there. But until they see that path clearly with their own eyes where they can make a leap towards you, and it's not apparent that it's going to end up in disaster, they're going to stay like fixed where they're at. Tell me more about vacation. It says adventure, getaway, travel, break, and time off. Yeah, that's a desire that your person has, but they're not going to be expressing it anytime soon. They want to make you a top priority, but they're just not in that space to be able to do that right now, especially because your person is still in survival mode, because they still are dealing with some kind of a really heavy attachment that they're having a difficult time freeing themselves from. All right, tell me more. Anything else about spell work, and then we'll close your guys' reading. Oh, Ace of Wands in the reverse. Hold on. This might be your person wanting you to ease up on this spell work. If your person knows that you're into manifestation, or if they think you cast spells or you're whatever, it's almost like, you know, they're okay with that. But there's almost a feeling like, can you slow it down a little bit? Because you could be putting energy out there that is, you know, it's for the purposes of helping your person to free themselves from whatever that, you know, that baggage is. But it could be causing what feels like a lot of tower moments in your person. A lot of like life quakes, which if that's what's happening, it's happening for a reason, so that, you know, those things are happening so your person can relieve themselves of that baggage. But, you know, it's like whatever was trapped in that bottle, it's all coming out, and, you know, it feels very scary, at least very complicated, very challenging. But for many of you, what's going on internally within your person, very scary. But tell me more about the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. King of Wands in the upright position. There's still some resistance to that. it's ideal. Your person sees them becoming a King of Wands energy. They see it as ideal, but the journey, the process of actually growing into that has been very painful, and it still is very painful for your person. So let's see, is this pile one's person wanting pile one to ease up on? Yeah, it is. With judgment. I'm telling you, if you have been consciously like manifesting this person, you know, or I should say you've been consciously manifesting a specific kind of relationship dynamic with your person, it's releasing the Pandora's box of everything that's been getting in your person's way from being able to make those moves towards you. All right, there's a lot of demons being, you know, resurrected that they're needing to process out. A lot of maybe toxic attachments in the forms of addictions and people just kind of popping up needing to be dealt with, and it's feeling very overwhelming for your person. And so they, for what they're wanting, they could want you to kind of ease up on that a bit. That may be why we have vacation here, like, you know, pile one, can you kind of ease up on manifesting me in, because it's liberating everything all at once, and your person is feeling very overwhelmed by what they're needing to deal with and heal from and process and stuff like that. All right, pile one, that was your reading. I hope that it helped. I hope you got from this reading what you came here for. If you did, do me a favor, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it helped or how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't already done so by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile one, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye guys. What's going on, pile two? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. Tapping in and channeling through who are you to your person, where do you stand with them, and what do they want from you and from the connection. So just keep in mind, you guys, it's a collective general reading, so if something resonates, you can do whatever you want with it. If something isn't landing, just drop it and leave it behind for whomever that message or that information might be resonating with, okay? I have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection, including I have this reading, this exact reading available as a personal reading. Just check the specific person category link in the description box below for booking details. It's called Who Are You to Them. There's also a lot of other 25, or I should say a lot of other specific person readings available. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out. Your person could be stumbling over their words right now. Okay, your person could be feeling very nervous for some reason, maybe feeling some kind of anxiety. Let's see what's going on. You guys were drawn to the Herkimer diamond. Let's see who you are to your person, pile two. We got rescue showing up in the reverse. The number 16 or the number 7 could be significant. We also have the magician in the reverse, the 8 of cups in the reverse, and then we also have the ace of pentacles. Let's see what's going on with the rescue in the reverse. All right, it says, are you trying to rescue another? Do you believe your love can change someone and miraculously heal this person? Or are you waiting to be rescued? Do you believe that someone will sweep you off your feet and take away all of your troubles? Reversed, the rescue card cautions you against romanticizing your situation right now. Look closely and see reality as it is rather than the illusion of how you'd like it to be. You need to step back and rescue yourself. Trust that spirit will guide you to expose the illusion so that you may discern the difference between truth and fantasy. Pile two. Whoa. Your person, for who you are to them, they don't think you're looking at things very clearly when it comes to them and to this connection. I'm hearing your person say like you're giving your power away for who you are to them. They might see you as somebody that's overperforming, trying to gain some kind of a role or some kind of influence or something in their life. They're not saying that the potential is not there, but they might feel like you're doing too much for who you are to them. Okay? Your person knows that you see a lot of potential with them and with this connection, and they can see it too, right? With the Ace of Pentacles here. But they're feeling like you're too overly focused on the potential. Your person, for real, pile 2, they don't think you're looking at things very clearly. They feel like you're hyper fixated on the potential and not dealing with the reality of the situation. For who you are to your person, they may feel like you might be way too clingy, you know, or dependent on this connection for something. You might be too dependent on them. They may see you as somebody who is very emotionally attached to them and struggling to fully walk away or to detach, even if your needs aren't being met. They see you as somebody that is waiting for them maybe to step up, to offer commitment, or to show up in a way that you've been hoping for, while still holding space for that potential. So I mean, you're gonna know whether or not you're super clingy on this person. There is an overall vibe there is an overall vibe though coming through from your person, pile 2. Your person they don't think that you're looking at things very clearly, and they're coming from a space of like, if you did, you probably wouldn't want it, right? And who you are to them, you know, they do see you as somebody who is wanting something more with them than maybe what they have the capability of producing or offering at this time. But you're like, that's still not keeping you. How are they wanting to say this? So there's reality and then there's potential, right? And your person is like, okay, the reality of the situation is this. And it's not really anywhere near what you're clocking as potential, right? Potential is always there for everybody. Everybody has the potential, right? And they're saying, or you're at least believing, that if you were really looking at the reality of the situation, you shouldn't have such a hard time walking away. But you are, at least in their eyes, okay? They see you as having a very difficult time walking away from the situation. Let me find out what their overall thoughts and feelings are. They could see you as somebody who's wanting to fix things. Fix them, rescue them. One more shuffle. Let's find out their true thoughts and feelings towards you at this time. They're saying like you got your heart set on something with them that may not be realistic for this connection at this time. Pile 2's person, real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2 in the connection, please. Okay, let me get one more. Are you looking at the board, pile 2? Oh my god. Let's get one more. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 2, please. Okay. The desire is there, okay, from your person to want to take things to the next level, but there's something about your energy that could be blocking it out, okay? Especially if you're way too clingy, or at least that's the energy that your person is picking up. At the bottom of the deck, we have, you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. There feels like there's a but or a caveat there, okay? There's almost like this thing coming through in your person's energy pile too, like if you would just ease up on needing them or needing this connection so much and kind of settle into a space that's, you know, where you feel more at peace even in their absence. It's like the floodgates would be able to open between the two of you. There's just something about your dynamic, or there's something about you and the energy that you're contributing to the dynamic at this point in time that your person might be, it might come off to your person as being abrasive, maybe even intrusive. There's just something about, there's something too much coming through in your energy. And, it's like it's getting in the way of things in this connection unfolding naturally. It's like something about how you're handling things or the way you're doing things is disrupting the natural course of things unfolding. Like if you would take your hands off the wheel and just let things unfold naturally, and I know that's easier said than done, right? If you have a very difficult time detaching from, you know, desired outcomes, and you guys, there's nothing wrong with, you know, preferring, you know, specific outcomes, but if you're clinging and you're needing that outcome to happen, that's when you're choking out all the possibilities from actually being able to unfold and manifest, okay? But if you would like ease up and just let things happen and flow naturally, it's like you could end up getting what you want from this person, which would be taking things to the next level. But your person is like, you need to back off a bit, pile two, and let things just unfold and, you know, unfold naturally. If you don't know how to do that, how to ease up or how to take your hands off the wheel or how to not be hyper attached to, you know, a specific response or a specific outcome or a specific dynamic, go check out my other channel. It's called Pure Godfidence. There's 2 videos linked in the description box that'll get you started in that direction. The first one is how to stop manifesting separation, and then the second one is the process by which to do that, called releasing the wants. That'll help you get into a space where you're not so hyper vigilant on what is or isn't happening in this connection between you and your person, okay? So your person's honest thoughts and feelings, we have I feel so good when I'm with you. We have soul snatching sex, okay? And then we also have let's take things to the next level, and at the back of the deck we have you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. So, I mean, those are pretty much self-explanatory, but I will look at let's take things to the next level. The fact that that's coming out right underneath the Ace of Pentacles, it's like your person is more than willing to, you know, seed something or get something going with you. You know, in this context, the Ace of Pentacles would be the seed of commitment, right? They've got no problem planting that seed with you. The only reason why they're kind of withholding and holding back is because they're kind of clocking some red flags with you, pile two, okay? And they're saying if it wasn't for those red flags, it's like they would see you literally as their perfect match, their perfect partner. The sex is awesome between the two of you. They're saying, you know, when they're with you and things are good and you guys are getting along and you're not feeling triggered or you're not pressuring them to take things to the next level, it's like they really genuinely enjoy the time that they spend with you. Let's look at, let's take things to the next level. Oh, tell me why. We got the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. They're like not quite that, okay? So what's the next level here? Or maybe it's like a not yet. Why is the Ace of Pentacles now showing up in the reverse? Yeah, there's some delay in it. This feels like your person, because that's being clarified by the Eight of Wands in the reverse. This feels like your person holding off on planting that seed of commitment. They're wanting to see if you're going to be able to ease up on some of your fears and your anxieties and your hyper attachments and stuff like that. Okay. whatever those red flags are. They're, you know, they're not deal breakers, right? At least not at this point. But they can be if they see it as something that you're unable to, you know, work through or heal or, you know, transcend or overcome. Let's see, where does pile 2 currently stand with the person on their mind? Okay, yeah, this connection feels like it's hanging in the balance, and it largely depends on you and how you react or respond and how you show up or don't show up, okay? I'll tell you what's coming up here in a minute. Give me one more. I am picking up energies pile 2, and I'm just giving you the heads up and the messages that's coming through. Your person isn't averse to walking away from this connection. They're not averse to ending it. Now, they don't necessarily want to, because they can also see the potential as well, right? But they're needing to see that you're going to be able to just chill out and let things like naturally unfold, rather than, they could see you as somebody who's very controlling, very manipulative even. Maybe not in a covert way. They could see you as somebody that maybe tries to guilt them into responding in the ways that you want them to respond. It's that kind of an energy. Let me get more. Where does pile 2 currently stand with their person? Wedding rings. See what I mean? Your person sees it too, okay? And that's coming out right on top of that Ace of Pentacles. Clock on the back of the deck says need times, takes, yeah. This connection that feels like your person is suspending forward moving momentum at this time until they can see that, you know, you're not this hyper clingy attached person, okay? So we have the Grim Reaper. It says the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. And this feels like your person saying that the current version of your guys' dynamic needs to change. It needs to die, okay? Your person can be feeling like you're coming off to them, and the kinds of things that are coming through, and these are just examples, right? It's not going to resonate for everybody. But, you know, somebody that's constantly texting way too much, unable to give, you know, your person space if they request it, you know, maybe asking way too many questions. And not that there's anything wrong with asking questions to try to figure out where you stand, but there's this energy of like you're being driven by some kind of a void or a wounding that doesn't let you rest until you get exactly what you want from your person, which is very controlling and manipulative. And I'm preaching to the choir because I used to be the same way until I healed, okay? And so your person is saying until you can just chill, and this is literally what I'm hearing them say, all right? Don't come for me. I'm not going to allow it anyway. They're saying you need to chill the fuck out. The only reason why you're not getting what you want from them at this point in time, which feels like a commitment, is because you're acting too clingy. This is going to sound harsh, but it's what's coming through. They're saying you're acting too desperate. We have separation, but it's showing up in the reverse, okay? So in the upright position, it says sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. You know, your person, especially if you guys are kind of hot off, you know, the trail of a really bad argument, or maybe your person's, you know, wanting to take a break from you and from the connection because they feel like your energy is just rushing them too much. You know, that could be them saying like they're fine in the separation for now. They're not missing any of the desperate, clingy energy. They're not missing the robo texts or, you know, the constant questioning. Where you at? Who you been with? Who's that person? And blah, blah, blah. It's like they're not missing any of that. But let me look at, let me see what separation in the reverse says or what that's about. Tell me more about separation in the reverse. This is almost them saying like you won't let them miss you. Tell me more about separation in the reverse. Why is this, or explain, tell me more. That wanted to come out, the King of Wands in the reverse. Right now. Yes, I mean, we do have a message here where your person is saying, I feel so good when I'm with you. But that feels like it's a caveat, right? Like, I feel so good when I'm with you when you're in a good space, pile 2. When you're not feeling depressed, when you're not feeling anxious, when you're not feeling, you know, when you're not being activated by some kind of a, you know, abandonment wound or attachment issue or something like that. They see you as really amazing, right? Even perfect for them in their eyes, until that trigger gets activated, and then it's like they don't want to be around you, right? And it's not you that they're not wanting to be around. They don't want to be around the pain that you're just kind of like, you know, dumping, and that's their words, not mine, dumping on them, okay? Or lashing out at them. Like when you're acting super clingy or super desperate or just super attached to them, it's like you knock them out of their energy and they don't like the way that feels. And so where you currently stand with them, you know, especially if you are, and this is just, you know, this is advice, whether, you know, you want to take it or not, it's fine. If you are still, you know, robo-texting your person, calling them all the time, you're not leaving them alone, you're not giving them the break that they asked for, you're only... it's like you're not letting them miss you. In fact, you're doing the exact opposite. You're making them want to run away from you. They're literally telling you, pile 2, chill the fuck out. Just chill out. Let me take my space. Let me take my time. In the meantime, you know, for you to do whatever you need to do to heal whatever is sourcing that desperation within you, whatever is sourcing your hyper dependence on your person and their energy and this connection. Heal that, right? So you can just ease into things and just let things unfold naturally. Your person feels like you're trying to force things here, and that's making them resist it even more. But look what we have. We got wedding rings right on top of the Ace of Pentacles. So it says union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. So for those of you, you know, if you are in separation, your person's like, I'm not going anywhere. You're the one they want to be with if, okay, and this is their words, not mine, if you can get your shit together, if you can heal, if you can transcend whatever that wounding is, if you can get past being hyper attached or clingy or desperate, you know, on your person's energy. But they're not, like, the potential for that is there, even in their eyes, but they're not gonna offer that. They're kind of like withholding that because they're not sure, like, is this really you? Is this how you're gonna be all the time? Because if it is, they're gonna end things and go in a different direction, pile 2, okay? Let's find out what they want. And that's not necessarily what they're wanting to do. They don't necessarily want to go in a different direction. If they had their choice, pile 2, what they would have you do is heal. Heal whatever it is within you that makes you maybe lash out at them, or, you know, maybe protest behavior, or whatever it is to them that makes your energy feel like super invasive, super clingy. If they had the ability to choose, they would rather heal. You heal that. The two of you have a lot of fun together, you know, continue having the soul snatching sex. And then at some point, you know, yes, they're going to take things to the next level with you, clear up until, you know, clear, even including marriage. Okay. That's there. Let's see. What do you want? What does pile 2's person want with pile 2? Okay. We got hot and cold showing up in the reverse. Okay, so what they're saying is you may be perceiving, okay, their actions as being hot and cold, but what you're not understanding and realizing is the role that you're playing in that. You're pushing them away. they're wanting you to kind of relax on, they're not saying like drop your boundaries and have no morals or, you know, integrity or standards or anything like that, but you could be very rigid, right, in expectations. You could have them on a tight timeline, and your person is like, what happened to just enjoying each other's company and having fun, right? Not to say it's okay to want things to lead to a certain place, and your person is actually open to that, but there's something very, what they're saying, it feels very militant, you know, almost like, in their words, like you're wanting to run the show. It's giving your person the ick. I'll give you, you know, I'll be honest, but not so much of an ick that it's turning them off towards you. They're not turned off towards you at all, pile 2. And I actually want to reiterate this, because what they're saying is like, if it was anyone else behaving this way with them, they would have walked the other way a long time ago. But they see the person underneath the wounding. Okay, they might understand why you're behaving the way that you are, or why you're clinging, and they wish that you would get help for that, or go through the process of healing that, which is shadow work, right? Because they do prefer, you know, to be with you. With hot and cold showing up in the reverse for what your person wants from this connection, they don't want to be hot and cold with you. Your person they're actually coming through in an energy here of not being a runner. They're saying they're only responding to the way that you're, like, something about your energy being very, like, abrasive, and that's what they're, you know, so they're saying like they're not naturally just somebody that's hot and cold, okay? They don't want that dynamic between the two of you, but they need you to like detach and let go. Not to say like break up with them and not have anything to do with them, but you're hyper fixated on something when it comes to this connection and your person, and they don't want you to hyper fixate on that anymore, because it's robbing you two of being able to really enjoy just the bond, the natural bond that exists between the two of you. And really what that is, it's attachment, right? You're letting your attachment issues, which could be fueled, you know, by abandonment, right? You're letting your attachment issues suck the life and the joy out of your guys' bond, okay? Let's get a couple more. What does pile 2's person want with pile 2 in this connection? They don't want to fight, okay? We got fights showing up in the reverse. It says arguments, creating drama, and moments of tension, but it's in the reverse. They want none of that. They don't want any fights. They don't want no drama. They don't want any moments of tension between the two of you. But I feel like that's what that's like their experience of your guys' connection is you keep getting activated or triggered, or, you know, because, and no shade on you, right? There's a reason why you could be dealing with insecure attachment issues, but it is creating drama and tension between the two of you, which causes your person to want to separate and not have anything to do with you while you're in that mode, okay? You could be clocking that as them being hot and cold, but they're saying that's not what that is. That's just their boundary. You know, there's something in the way that you're behaving or handling things. Your person is like, I don't want that drama. I don't want that tension. You know, it's almost like get your shit together, pile 2, right? Which is very harsh and brash, and I'm sorry that it's coming out like that. Again, if you don't know how to heal that attachment wounding or an abandonment wound so that you're not feeling triggered by what your person is or isn't doing, so that you are able to just relax and let things, you know, naturally unfold, again, go check out my other channel that I mentioned earlier, okay? That'll help you do that. Let's get one more. What does pile 2's person want with pile 2 in their connection with pile 2? Your person does not want drama. They also, you know, they also don't want to do any damage here. You know, they do have respect for your boundaries as well. This is feeling guilty, remorseful, and wanting to undo the damage. Your person is wanting, like, if they did something that hurt you. So the reason why it's coming out like this, your person is saying, is because This isn't them wanting you to dismiss or sweep under the rug the wrongs that may have been perpetuated against you with your person. Like if they really did cross a line with you, they're not saying that they want you to you know, just let them off the hook. And that's not what they're saying at all. They're saying, you know, they have no problem taking accountability and making, you know, some wrongs or injustices against you right. They want to do that. They want to undo whatever damage they may be doing to you. They don't want to do that. They want to undo that damage. They want to make up for it. But there's an energy here of maybe like when you get triggered, you could go overboard. Like you can't let it go. You could be bringing up the same things over and over and over and over and over again, even though your person may have already apologized. Or, you know, there's also just an energy here of you just overall not feeling safe, just overall. And so, you know, you could be somebody who requires a lot of validation from your person, and they're wanting you to work on that, okay? We got timing at the bottom of the deck again. This is bad timing, waiting for the right time, and patience is needed. Yeah, you know, I feel like that's connected to, you know, your person saying like, you know, if they're not against. Oh, okay. Do you have them on a deadline when it comes to like this, let's take things to the next level, or this Ace of Pentacles energy, or the wedding rings? Your person, and this is a very direct message, pile 2, but your person is saying they will not be strong-armed into making a decision before they feel ready to do that. But a lot of the reason why it feels like your person may not be ready to make that decision to take things to the next level with you, even though the desire to do that is there, is because of you. Okay? Because of your triggers, because of your insecurities, because of your fears and things like that. If you're not going to have patience and just let things naturally unfold, and you're going to, you know, give your person ultimatums and this and that, they're just, you know, they're going to be over here in this grim reaper energy and just say, okay, they don't want to be forced. They don't like that feeling. And honestly, in your person's energy, what's coming through right now is they're seeing more red flags than they are green. All right, pile 2. We're going to end your reading there. I hope that it helped. I'm sorry for a lot of the harsh messages that came through. If this was your reading and it, you know, some of the stuff did resonate, and, you know, you're seeing where, yes, a lot of this is true, and you want help with being able to, like, you know, detach from a lot of that stuff, again, go check the resources that I mentioned earlier. If you have specific questions about, you know, how to do that, just comment with your question. I'm here to help, you know, when I can. And so, yeah, because I don't want to leave you hanging like that, because I do feel like the potential, even with your person, they're saying you're pretty much everything they want, pile 2. But you have some attachment issues that are really fucking things up. Not your fault, you know, it's not like you woke up one day and was like, oh, I really want, you know, this gnarly attachment issue or abandonment wound, right? Your person knows that too. But they're just saying, like, unless and until you transcend and overcome that attachment issue or that abandonment wound, it's like you guys are not going to be able to go anywhere, even though they want to. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me again today. I hope this reading helped. If it did, or if you got from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor, smash the like button for me, comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it helped or how it resonated. Become part of the family if you have not already done so by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Pile 2, I will see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys. Pile 3, what's going on, you guys? Oh my gosh, why did it come through like that? I can't say it the way that it came through because I will get dinged, okay? But I just heard it come, like it wanted to come through like, hey, what's up, my ninja? No, that's not what I heard when I said ninja, but you get the point, okay? So I don't know if some of you, if you're, I don't know why that would come through in that way, but it did, all right? I don't ever talk like that, so that's directly channeled from one of your people, I don't know. Oh my goodness, pile 3. My goodness, what is going on here? Yeah, so welcome to my channel, you guys. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. Do you and your person have like a good time together or something? Because for some reason it's just like I'm feeling really goofy. I'm feeling very jovial. And my goodness. Anyway, yeah, so we're doing another pick a card love reading. We are tapping in and channeling who you are to your person. Where do you stand with them and what they want from you and from the connection? Just keep in mind it's a collective reading, so you know, if something resonates, awesome. Take it, do what you want with it. If something isn't quite landing, just drop it and leave it behind for whomever, you know, that bit of information or, you know, that message is resonating with. All right, you guys, so I have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. Just check the description box. There are a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Including this exact reading. You can get this reading as a personal. It's called Who Are You to Them. There's many other readings available in the specific person category as well. Many of them are just $25, all right, you guys? So go check them out, see which ones most fit your needs. Pile 3, you were drawn to the Sunset Sodalite. And then we have Who You Are to Your Person. We got Flying. Showing up in the reverse, we have the number 20, it could be the number 2. We have the Ace of Swords showing up in the reverse, Temperance in the reverse, and the Four of Cups in the reverse. Ace of Swords, it's air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Temperance is Sagittarius. And I'm picking up like a Knight of Wands energy with this Flying, but it is showing up in the reverse. So let's find out what's going on with Flying in the reverse. All right, it says, when you see the Flying card reverse, it is a gentle reminder that there are times to take flight and times to remain grounded. And for now, you must avoid overreaching. There is still work to be done before you earn your wings. Be patient. What you seek will not be out of reach forever. Remember the story of Icarus in Greek mythology, whose wax-made wings and overconfidence brought him too close to the sun. He perished because he didn't realize his limitations. Humility is a great power, and now you must exercise it. Doing too much, too fast, too soon only serves to prevent a beautiful flight later on. I'm getting heavy Knight of Wands vibes that your person is seeing within you, right? Very fun. They see you at like who you are to your person. They have a lot of fun with you. You guys can have a lot of banter back and forth. But there's almost like this, what is that? There's almost like a feeling like your person feels like they can't really take you seriously. It almost feels like you're not somebody they feel like they can pin down, or it's difficult to pin you down. They could see you as somebody who may not see things very clearly or something. The Ace of Swords, Temperance, and the Ace of Swords reversed, Temperance reversed, and the Four of Cups reversed. They could see you as somebody that maybe needs to be more grounded. Your person could see you as very flighty, okay? Very flighty. Let's find out what their thoughts and feelings are towards you real quick, and then let me see what direction this is going. Pile 3's person. What is Pile 3's person honest, real thoughts and feelings towards Pile 3 at this time? All right. Pile 3's person. Their honest, true thoughts and feelings towards Pile 3. You are my future. Okay. We also have, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? And then we also have, I thought I could do this, but I just can't. So let me see. Their honest, true thoughts and feelings towards Pile 3, please. I'm all in. At the back of the deck, we have I'm waiting for the right time. This could be a connection that your person, for whatever reason, like right person, wrong time. You guys may need or have been taking a break from each other to maybe get like your guys' individual, you know, lives in order or something to that effect. But they are seeing you as someone like their real true thoughts and feelings towards you. There's someone that they can see long term with, right? They see you as their future. Let's find out what capacity that's talking about though. You are my future. In what capacity? Pile 3's person. We have I'm all in showing up underneath the 4 of Cups in the reverse. And so, you know, you do stir your person. They could have been in an energy of apathy or maybe even boredom when it comes to maybe just romantic connections altogether. That could just be their overall, you know, kind of personality. There is an energy maybe of your person kind of being stuck in their ways. Very stubborn, fixed energy coming through. And it's like you kind of come in through with, it's like a rush. You come in with like this rush of energy and you rile things up, okay? It's very exciting for your person. You're very unpredictable. Some of them are saying you're too unpredictable. So again, you know, but I'm not picking up like it's a deal breaker. But there is something here where your person is kind of like, you know, is this a new connection for some of you, or is there like a new dynamic developing between the two of you where you're getting to know each other better? Because they're kind of hanging back and just kind of in observation mode and sort of watching you. And with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, I'm picking up here that you're kind of challenging their usual ways of perceiving things. And so you could be like, you know, really riling things up and stirring the pot, but not in a bad way. You got your person thinking differently, which may not be something that they normally do. Your person could have a very, what's that word? Maybe they're super reserved and you're not. And they could just be having this very naturally apathetic kind of a, you know, energy or an approach to things in life in general, or even relationships. But you come in and you just kind of like, you get things stirred up, you get things riled up. It's exciting, right? With Temperance in the reverse for who you are to your person, it's like you challenge the status quo for them. But I'm picking up on it's exciting. It's that Knight of Wands energy, not grounded, right? Can be very impulsive, but there's also something very exciting that your person likes and loves about that in you. Okay, tell me about You Are My Future. Your person, I'm channeling quite a bit. Your person is saying, pile 3, that they're kind of hanging back and observing, trying to figure out how you're going to work and fit into like their everyday life. They're trying to find some kind of like a natural rhythm with you, and they're having a very difficult time doing that. But they're patient, okay? Your person could be somebody that for some reason is very dependent on routine. They could be on the scale or the spectrum. They could be on the spectrum. Let's see. Tell me more about You Are My Future. They could be on the spectrum and you could be like neurodivergent. Is that what they call it? Neurospicy? You know, ADD, ADHD, stuff like that. I'm hearing it makes a really interesting combination between the two of you. You could just be like super just active and a lot of energy. You're always buzzing around and doing stuff. And then they're kind of like a homebody, kind of doing the same thing day in and day out. And you kind of come in and it's just like, you flip everything over, but not in a bad way, okay? Tell me more about You Are My Future. There's the Page of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, this feels, I'm picking up on your person asking for patience, or maybe you're wanting them to be patient. It's funny because we got temperance in the reverse, which is literally can be translated into patience. And so there's no patience there. They could see you as somebody that's very impulsive. You want what you want when you want it. But again, there's something very exciting about your energy. Very different maybe from anything that they've really, you know, come across before. Tell me more about you are my future. There's the King of Wands. Yeah, there's some, your person could see, and it could be just talking about the connection itself. It's still in the stages of development, right? They can see a future with you, but things are still kind of like in the beginning stages, getting to know each other. Your person is really trying to figure out how they're going to fit you or work you in, or even if they can. Okay, they want to. They see a future with you. Why is the Page of Wands in the reverse here? That's also coming up right underneath the Ace of Swords in the reverse. This is something that your person wants, but they're having a hard time figuring out, like, realistically, logistically, if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. It's like the details are very fuzzy for your person. Tell me more about the Page of Wands in the reverse. Oh, wow, the Page of Swords in the reverse. There could be something about kids here, maybe something about children getting in the way, in a way that conflicts. That could be a, you know, a conflicting thing between the two of you. If you want kids and they don't, or you don't want kids and they do, or, you know, one of you has kids and the other person doesn't want to date someone, something like that. That's a very specific message, but that's going to relate, you know, that is going to resonate for somebody here. Tell me more about you are my future. Yeah, they see it with you, but they're still kind of defensive against it. Again, I feel like they're waiting to see how things pan out. They want you to be able to have a spot with them in there. I almost feel like they're trying to figure out, like, what role you might end up taking. Okay. We have, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? I thought I could do this, but I just can't. Let me see what's going on here with, let's see, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? And this feels like, how am I wanting to word this? There are times when your person feels like you're too much. It's too complicated. You're too flighty. You're too hard to figure out. And for some reason, your person feels the need. Again, there's something about structure. Your person is very attached or accustomed to structure, to routine, to knowing, you know, to predictability and stuff like that. Your person, again, fixed energy is, let's see, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Yeah. And then earth energies are also coming through, which would, again, be Taurus, Virgo, and then Capricorn. And you're like the antithesis of that. And so this, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? That almost feels like your energy, right? Not that you're bullshit, right? That's not it. But there's a fundamental difference in the way that you guys just kind of exist, and your person's trying to figure out how to make the two coexist in some kind of harmony. And, you know, that is translating from what I'm picking up on. I'm not seeing that your person is controlling. But again, your person feels like they thrive in structure, they thrive in routine, they thrive in predictability, and you're like the antithesis of that. And so with I thought I could do this, but I just can't, coming out with, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit? There are times when your person is like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can, you know, have a life or a future with someone like that, right? And that could be part of why their defenses are up, or why, you know, they are maybe delaying things in this connection from really getting off the ground in any kind of a specific dynamic between the two of you. Tell me about, I thought I could do this, but I just can't. Interesting. We have the Five of Cups. Who's this Five of Cups energy here? Is this pile 3 or pile 3's person? This almost feels like a fear of being disappointed. Whoever... Okay, tell me more about, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? Give me more specifics about that. Because whatever that is, it's actually causing distress. It's actually causing possible regret, depression. This could also be someone, you or your person, could be both, not wanting to have anything to feel disappointed about. You know, not wanting to deal with that again. But give me more details about, aren't you tired of dealing with my bullshit yet? Because I'm not, you know, I'm picking up that, you know, you're just kind of being who you are, right? I'm feeling like there's a fundamental difference between how you kind of exist and do life versus how your person exists and does life. I'm picking up on clashing. There's clashing there. Someone feels like they're spinning their wheels about something. Confusion. Let me look at I'm all in. What's I'm all in? Oh, Queen of Wands in the reverse. A lot of hesitancy coming through in that energy. But it also could just be not knowing the specifics, not knowing the actions to take, wanting to be all in, right? The desire for that is there, but like the actual logistics of it happening are a whole completely different thing, okay? Yeah, a lot of energy coming through about, and then there's the 9 of Swords at the back of the deck. Wow. This is so weird because I'm picking up on two, that's Gemini energy too. I'm picking up on two distinct, I'm picking up on somebody that's very detached, okay? Not necessarily unfeeling, but I mean, it's just somebody is very head over heart. And then I'm picking up on somebody else's energy who is very deeply feeling, very attached. That could be your person too. You know, needing structure, needing to know day to day what's going to happen. And, your person is understanding and realizing that, you know, you don't mean, like, you don't mean anything bad. Like, you might forget, you know, you could, this is reminding me of a friend of mine who's a Gemini, and she's got the best heart. She really does. She's super generous, has a heart of gold, and she's just very flighty, very detached, very from one thing to the next. And we often, you know, in our little friend group, we often joke around and we're saying, like, you know, she can hop dimensions. She'll just kind of disappear and just pop back up, right? And, you know, thankfully she's friends with a lot of people who don't try and pin her down and who don't try to figure her out and stuff like that. You know, we're able to just hold space and let her do her thing and, you know, things like that. But there are other people who aren't able to hold space for energies that way, right? And I kind of feel like that's the dichotomy going on between you and your person in this connection. Somebody being just very free-spirited, very carefree, very in the moment, not meaning to, like, because I heard somebody say something about, like, the Knight of Wands can be, you know, an energy very, you know, very lively, very vibrant, very lively, very excitable, right? Can be a breath of fresh air for people who may kind of feel like they're just kind of languishing in the same thing day in and day out. But there's a flip side to that coin. It's like, you know, sometimes the Knight of Wands is just so, I don't want to say oblivious, but it's like they don't mean to stomp on the flowers, but they do. right? And that's kind of like, what do they call that? Catching strays, or you know, your person getting hurt or feeling disrespected even though they know you didn't mean to. There's energies here of like your person maybe feeling like they've been left on red too much. Not that you're doing it on purpose, it's just like, you know, you could just be a very busy, active, you know, energy. They're not holding that against you, but at the same time, you know, there are times when your person might tend to overthink. There are things about this dynamic, pile 3. Your person does tend to like, oh my gosh, and my son's raging in the background. Give me a minute. I might have to text him and be like, can you stop raging? There's just something about the dynamic. Even though you don't intend to, your person, it's almost like, you know, like they're catching strays, but not on purpose. You know, you see what I'm saying? It's something like that. Let's find out next where you stand with them. Actually, I need to find out what's oh, we already did find out what that was about. Let me look at what's I'm waiting for the right time at the bottom of the deck. Tell me about I'm waiting for the right time. The right time for what? This just feels like them sitting back and observing. I'm almost feeling like your person may be wanting to offer something to you, but they're not quite sure yet if you're the one to offer it to, even though they want to offer it to you. Tell me more. I'm waiting for the right time. What's that about? Tell me. Ooh, that's a lot. Come on now. I just need one. Tell me more about I'm waiting for the right time. Aw. We have the 6 of Cups. That's soulmate energy. That's sweet energy. This feels like maybe they're waiting for the right time to talk to you, to spend time with you again. This almost feels like your person just trying to be patient with you and with this connection. Trying as much as they can to kind of hang back, you know, let you do your own thing, you know, and cycle around when you eventually do. But it is triggering some things within your person, pile 3. Let's see, where does pile 3 currently stand with the person on their mind? You could have gotten your person over like an ex, or you could have gotten your person or helped your person through some kind of a very difficult time in their life. It's not the strongest. It's there. I should say it's not. It's kind of faint. I am picking up on an attachment that your person has to you, pile 3. Where does pile 3 currently stand with their person? Karmic relationship. Back of the deck, we have hammer, okay? So this is sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. There's just kind of an energy. Your person doesn't really want this connection to go away, right? They're just trying to figure out what to do with it, trying to figure out what to do with you. And so, you know, we have healing heart. It says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. We also have talking, which says interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, hoovering. We also have karmic relationships, says fleeting, triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go and loving you. I'm feeling like your person is trying, where you stand with them, they're trying to hold on to you and to this connection, but very loosely, right? It feels like you are teaching them indirectly some very important lessons about themselves. Tell me about hammer showing up at the bottom of the deck. You're testing your person's view of themselves, their self-confidence. Tell me more about the King of Wands in the reverse. Tell me more about the Two of Pentacles. Your person is wanting to put in some work towards this connection. They're just not sure where. Okay? This could really be frustrating you and or your person. Your person has this drive. It almost feels like they have this urge, to, you know, figure out where to put you and then, you know, work on your guys' connection in that way. And what I mean by that is like, okay, is pile 3 going to be somebody that I date, you know, just casually, or is pile 3 going to be somebody that I commit to long term, or is pile 3 just going to end up being, you know, a friend of mine, you know, like a platonic friendship, or what the case may be. I'm telling you, there's something about your person's where it's like they got to have shit figured out, right? And it is very frustrating for them. They're trying to figure out, like, because, you know, they want something with you. They just don't know to what capacity that's going to be. And they're having a hard time pinning you down, figuring you out. And that's exactly who they are. They're somewhat, they like to figure things out and figure out people. You know, they like to know what the next move is going to be. You could also be someone to your person, pile 3. It's very difficult for them to read you. Very difficult for them to figure you out. Yeah. Let's see. Tell me about karmic relationship. Tell me more about the Two of Swords in the reverse. Oh, we had both the king and the Queens of Wands now show up, both in the reverse. So this could very well be a karmic relationship where, you know, y'all are just meant to teach each other, you know, some very important lessons about each other. I feel like the karmic nature within your guys's, now karmic, it doesn't mean, just because that's the energy that it's in right now doesn't always mean it's going to stay like that. Again, we did have the Six of Cups show up earlier. So there is a soulmate bond between the two of you, but right now it feels, at least to your person, that it's taking on a very karmic nature, which can be very challenging and very difficult, especially in the energy that I'm tapping in with your person. Somebody that needs to know what's going on, where it's coming from. They just need to know and have everything figured out, right? And you're the antithesis of that. Tell me more about talking. King of Wands in the reverse again. Holy crap. Your person is just not sure. I don't think I'm not picking up that they're all the time a King of Wands in the reverse, but you're definitely kind of activating something within them that makes them feel like they're being kind of knocked. I'm hearing they feel knocked off course, and they're also feeling knocked out of their, like, you know, their regular energy. It's like, you know, it's a disruption in, you know, your regularly televised programming, right? You're kind of like a disruption, a pattern disrupt. Man. So that's definitely, there's definite interest that your person has in talking to you more, getting to know you more. But for some reason, they're feeling very held back. Tell me more about healing heart. And what's funny, I was just telling you about my friend, the Gemini, and I'm just now seeing messages from her pop up. I love her so much. Very much a free spirit. Tell me more about Healing Heart. There's the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I feel like you two are here teaching, you two are in this dynamic, teaching each other a lot of lessons about the other, right? Very much mirrors towards each other. Again, I don't feel like it's always, or it doesn't always have to be karmic in nature. That doesn't feel like that, you know, is really the entirety of your guys' connection. Again, I am sensing like a soulmate bond underneath all of that. There could be a thing here, maybe pile 3, where you're meant to teach your person how to kind of lighten up and let go and just go with the flow more. And your person is here to teach you how to maybe become more structured, you know, implement more of a routine, things like that, okay? Let's find out now what they want. What does pile 3's person want with pile 3 and their connection with pile 3? Give me 2 more. Your person wants you around all the time, pile 3. What does pile 3's person want with pile 3? Oh, wow. Let's get one more. If there's a third party in the mix anywhere, this feels like your person wanting you to, like, you know, wanting that third party out. This also says complicated relationships, separation will be costly, and terminating a marriage. Let's get one more. Runner, and then we got divine intervention at the bottom of the deck. We have avoiding the connection, running from themselves, and ignoring you, and we have that coming out right underneath karmic relationship. Tell me more about avoiding, tell me more about runner. Okay, the first card we have out is called All Around Them. It says, can't escape the connection, telepathic experiences, your love haunts them. Divorce alimony says terminating a marriage, separation will be costly, complicated relationship. And then runner says avoiding the connection, running from themselves, and ignoring you. Tell me more about All Around Them. They don't want, again, they don't want this connection to go anywhere, in terms of like, they don't want to lose this connection, okay? They don't want that. They do want you guys to have like a telepathic, your person, honestly, pile 3, your person is just like, I just want some kind of, they want regularity with you, right? They want consistency. That's what they want. And they're even to a point where they're like, well, if I can't get consistent communication, and it's funny that that's showing up right underneath the Ace of Swords in the reverse, or like, if I can't get consistent 3D communication from pile 3, you know, maybe maybe we can have consistent, telepathic communication. It's that kind of a thing. Tell me about All Around them. All around them, and what I'm seeing is it's like separation will be costly. What your person is wanting from you and from this connection, they don't want it to be so easy for you to walk away. They could be, yeah, there's very much, your person is seeing you as someone that has the ability to detach very easily and just walk away, you know, to disappear for a while. They much prefer that you would be a little bit more attached to them and to the connection than what you are. All right, what's runner then? Tell me about runner. This almost feels like your person wishing they could have more of that. You know, they wish they could be more like you, maybe in that regard, having the ability to just easily detached and, you know, not overthink things so much for what they're wanting with you in the connection. Tell me more about runner. Wow, the Ace of Pentacles in the upright position. Why is this here? Whose energy is this? Is this pile 3 or their person? God. I'm seeing this vision of somebody, and you can look at it the way that it looks like at the cards with the Ace of Pentacles, like somebody like almost shoving this, like this this opportunity, and it's a very beautiful opportunity, but it's like, here, take it, and the other person is like, no, running the other way. Okay, what's going on here? Help me understand what this is. Is this pile 3's person actually self-sabotaging here? No. Okay. What is going on with this dynamic? Help me understand why runner is here in terms of, okay, they don't want you to give up, or they don't want to give up on the connection. This doesn't feel so much like what they're wanting. This feels like what they're wanting is they're wanting the ability to be able to hold space for you. Like if you're the one that's running, you know, wanting the ability to be able to detach and just let things ride out in the way that they see that you're able to do. Divine intervention at the bottom of the deck. It says angels are helping, trust the divine plan, and believe in miracles. Yeah. Your person, and that's part of them just kind of hanging back and observing. You know, there's also a trust in things just naturally unfolding. Like if it's meant to happen between me and pile 3, it'll just happen, right? And so, I mean, your person does have somewhat, it's like, yeah, they are detaching to some degree, but that doesn't stop them. They're not so detached, though, that they're not overthinking things, that they're not in their head, because they are. But there is a level of faith that your person is embodying that is allowing them to kind of just hang back and not like rush you with like a whole bunch of energy and a whole bunch of questions and stuff like that. All right, pile 3, that was your reading, you guys. I hope that it helped, or I hope that you got from this reading what you came here for. If you did, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it helped or how it resonated. Become part of the family if you have not already done so by subscribing. And don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile 3, I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Live reading. Bye, guys.